So, oh, I got emails.
Oh,
He- uh, t- I told you I had no order. There's just notes and things on scraps of paper.
aren't you going to sing the Jim reads his email song?
He's reading his emails, his wonderful emails. He's reading his emails, his wonderful emails, and it's all from the cult.
All right. Now it's
Yeah.
official.
All righty, this is from Frank Culbertson out there in the Portland territory. One of the top guys out in the Portland territory, Brian.
One of the top historians out there. Absolutely.
Ab said he's talking about one of the other ones. It's like the Lawler and Dundee of Portland, Mike Rodgers. Mike Rodgers has
One of
another
the top
book.
historians out there.
Yes, well, there you go. But Mike Rodgers has another book coming out. Did you know about this?
It's all about panties.
No, that's not the one.
That's not the Mike Rodgers, or that's not the book?
No, that's not the Mike Rodgers book.
Oh.
It's this Mike Rodgers book. Actually, it's a collection of stories, I am told, from his 30 years as an educator, which normal people refer to as school teachers. But you know what? And because I should say that Mike doesn't always write about boring topics like his own life. Mike has done umpteen books about the Pacific Northwest history and the encyclopedias of folks that have worked their way through there.
He had one of the longest running wrestling newsletters of all time, Ring Around
the Northwest. See, I did that right in tune with you.
Which became a fascinating newsletter because as the territory died, it was just all this like behind the scenes drama with the athletic commission. And
yeah.
It became really interesting, and he was the only guy really covering it.
And the best thing was it was still interesting, even though it was like one show ran last week in the parking lot of a fucking appliance store. But then there's 7 pages on what the promoters and the commission are trying to do to each other.
And then like every other month, it's like Billy Jack Haynes is trying to do this.
Yes. And then the next month, it's Billy Jack Haynes has gone away.
Buddy Rose was seen.
But anyway, this book is about it. He's been a teacher, and actually he is a real human being with a life also. But the title of it is Squirrel Paws. Did you hear me correctly, Brian?
I heard you correctly. I have no idea what that means.
Squirrel Paws. Well, the explanation for that is Squirrel Paws was the tactic that Mike was taught toward the ends of his teaching career, one of these modern things, to fend off students who attacked him, like put up your hands and just try to bat the incoming blows away, like with Squirrel Paws.
What kind of school is this?
Well, apparently it's, one of the modern techniques for dealing with this thing. When I was a kid, it would have been if you were old enough to punch somebody in the face, you were old enough to get punched in the fucking face. And that's why fewer people got punched in the fucking face.
I mean, every now and then a kid would wild out and go after the teacher, but it was a rare thing. It sounds like this was a frequent thing where he had to come up with a tactic.
Well, apparently it was like,
Was this Miami?
No, out in Oregon.
Yeah, what the hell?
It's like the duck and cover with the communist threat of a nuclear war in the 60s, and they had the bomb plans, and now the shooting drills, and also they teach the teachers how to fucking fend off like a ninja. But anyway, there's something else about Frank's email, but that's a plug for Mike's book, because Lord knows he needs it. But Frank also said, remember we were talking in one of the Raycon ads about it doesn't even matter how wide your head is, because these things, they can be far enough apart to fit any, fucking like football shaped head like Stewie Griffin or whatever, just a variety of these things. But we didn't know the technical verbosity behind it, Brian. You see what I'm saying? We didn't know what to call these things. So Frank has filled us in on head size, as we were speaking about on the podcast. The word for one whose head breadth is greater than 75% of its length. Now, length, we're going top of the head, I guess, to the bottom of the chinny chin, right? And then the breadth would be the space from ear to ear. Are we all on the same page? It's very important.
I don't know what page you're on. What exactly are we talking about here?
We're talking about different terms for the different shapes of heads that we were talking about before.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yes. So a person.
I used to read about that in Ring Around the Northwest.
Yes. Because Mike modeled for the. But nevertheless, a person.
He modeled for what?
Modeled for the abnormally shaped head. So a person whose head width maybe is greater than 75% of its length is called a brachycephalic. BRACHYCEPHALIC. Brachycephalic.
I guess where I'm confused is how did we end up here? Weren't we just talking about a squirrel technique and students attacking teachers?
Yes, that's about Mike's book. But Frank also knows things about head. And he's telling us about the head terminology. Or he knows things about heads, I guess, plural. Or
get back to your head game. I'll stay out of this.
Well, and it's you and me, baby. Head game. But now, so that's the wide head is brachycephalic. If you let me get this out, people are trying to take notes here. But if a person whose width is less than 75% of its length, a long-headed person, that means you're from ear to ear is less than 75% from the top of your head to the bottom of your chin.
You have pinheaditis.
Well, that is called dolichocephalic. DOLICHOCEPHALIC. Dolichocephalic.
Dolicho is my name, and long face is my game.
Yes, there you go. I saw that movie, Dolicho. And Frank concludes, in my family, we call dolichocephalic heads as the Culbertson head. Buying hats for this type of head is difficult. So if you want to get Frank Culbertson a hat, remember dolichocephalic fits pretty much the whole family. From him to Zippy Culbertson, his brother was maybe an exception.
Did we ever get an explanation to what exactly the squirrel technique was?
Yes, I said that. You were too busy scoffing and laughing at it. It's like you're squirrel. When did you last sit and watch the squirrels?
I have squirrels all the time out here, but I mean, I don't chase them or attack them or anything.
No, I'm not.
Is that what you do?
Chasing them,
attack the squirrels?
Oh, God damn it!
Do you eat them too?
No, I will not. No, people, stay away from my squirrels. I love my squirrels. They're so cute. But no, do you sit and watch them? How they act, how they behave, their movements, their activities.
Yeah, they're sneaky little fuckers.
Well, they're minding their own business out in nature, eating nuts wherever they can be found. But if they rear up on their hind legs and they've got their little front paws kind of wiggling around in front of them, either they're eating a nut or they're just playing with the other. That's the squirrel paws. It's just you can't really go through and just punch that fucking juvenile delinquent that's attacking you in the face. You've got to just fend off his blows with the little squirrel paws. And that's the technique that
I thought it was going to be menopause for squirrels. Squirrel paws.
Why do you have to bring a show that's already pretty low down into the complete gutter with jokes about menstruating rodents?
Are they rodents?
Well, I think isn't a squirrel it's a mammal, but isn't a squirrel a kind of a lot of people call them tree rats. They're very dismissive of the cuteness that is the American squirrel.
That's a slur against the squirrel community.
That's true, and I don't want to be known as an anti-squirrelite. I don't use those words. But where were I? What were you asking?
I was asking about the squirrel. You said you collect squirrels and you do stuff to them?
Collect squirrels. No. I don't. You threw me the goddamn. I was trying to make a point about
it was a curveball.
The curveball. The squirrels are cute and nice, and we like the squirrels here. But the pause is the technique because you don't sit and watch them with appreciation for them.
You know, I knew this show was going to be ridiculous today, but it's much better than I ever would have thought.
You won't keep up with what's going on. You have to keep dragging us back into minutia.
All right, I'll go on Brian Paws.
Well, no, you don't need to. Now, don't be getting in a snit. I'm looking at my notes here. Oh,